Today our topic is how to be more rational using Stoic logic. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. It is a practical way of thinking that helps us deal with challenges, make better decisions, and stay calm in difficult situations. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is that our emotions often come from our thoughts, and if we can change the way we think, we can change the way we feel. This is where Stoic logic comes in. Stoic logic is not about complex math or abstract theories. It is about using clear, simple reasoning to understand the world and our place in it. To be more rational, using Stoic logic, we need to focus on three main things: understanding what is within our control, separating facts from opinions, and practicing self-discipline. First, let's talk about what is within our control. The Stoics believe that many things in life are outside of our control. For example, we cannot control the weather, other people's actions, or the past. What we can control is how we respond to these things. If it rains, we cannot stop the rain, but we can choose to carry an umbrella or stay inside. If someone says something unkind to us, we cannot control their words, but we can control how we react. By focusing on what we can control, we save ourselves a lot of stress and frustration. This is the first step to being more rational. Instead of wasting energy on things we cannot change, we should focus on what we can do. This mindset helps us stay calm and make better decisions. The second step is to separate facts from opinions. Many of our problems come from confusing the two. A fact is something that is true, like it is raining outside. An opinion is how we feel about that fact, like I hate the rain. The Stoics believe that our opinions are what cause us pain, not the facts themselves. For example, if you lose your job, that is a fact. But if you think, this is the worst thing that could happen to me, that is an opinion. By separating the fact from the opinion, you can see the situation more clearly. Losing your job is not good, but it is not the end of the world. You can look for a new job, learn new skills, or even start a new career. The Stoics teach us to question our opinions and ask ourselves if they are based on facts or just our emotions. This helps us avoid overreacting and making irrational decisions. The third step is to practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your actions and stick to your goals, even when it is difficult. The Stoics believe that self-discipline is essential for living a good life. Without it, we are like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the wind takes us. Self-discipline helps us stay focused on what is important and avoid distractions. It also helps us resist temptations that can lead us away from our goals. For example, if you want to save money, you need the self-discipline to avoid spending it on unnecessary things. If you want to be healthy, you need the self-discipline to eat well and exercise. The Stoics teach us that self-discipline is not about punishing ourselves. It is about making choices that align with our values and long-term goals. Now that we have covered the three main steps, let's look at how we can apply Stoic logic in everyday life. One way is to use the view from above technique. This is a mental exercise where you imagine looking down at the world from a high place, like a mountain or a plain. From this perspective, you can see how small and insignificant many of our problems are. The things that seem so important to us today, like an argument with a friend or a bad grade on a test, are just tiny parts of a much bigger picture. This helps us put things in perspective and realize that most of our worries are not as big as they seem. It also reminds us that life is short, and we should focus on what truly matters. Another technique is to practice negative visualization. This means imagining the worst-case scenario and thinking about how you would handle it. For example, if you are worried about losing your job, imagine what you would do if it actually happened. Would you find a new job? Start a business? Go back to school? By thinking about the worst-case scenario, you prepare yourself for it and reduce your fear. This doesn't mean you should always expect the worst, but it helps you realize that even if something bad happens, you can handle it. This makes you more resilient and less anxious. A third technique is to focus on the present moment. The Stoics believed that the present is all we have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. By focusing on the present, we can make the most of our time and avoid worrying about things that are out of our control. This doesn't mean we should ignore the future or forget the past, but we should not let them dominate our thoughts. For example, if you are studying for an exam, focus on what you are learning right now, not on what might happen if you fail. If you are spending time with friends, enjoy the moment, instead of worrying about what you have to do tomorrow. This helps us stay calm and appreciate life as it is. Stoic logic also teaches us to be grateful for what we have. The Stoics believed that we often take things for granted and only realize their value when we lose them. By practicing gratitude, we can appreciate what we have and avoid the trap of always wanting more. For example, instead of complaining about your job, think about how lucky you are to have one. Instead of being upset about a small problem, think about all the things that are going well in your life. This shift in perspective helps us stay positive and focused on what truly matters. Finally, Stoic logic teaches us to accept things as they are. This does not mean we should give up or stop trying to improve our lives, but we should accept that some things are beyond our control. For example, we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond. We cannot control the past, but we can learn from it. By accepting things as they are, we can stop fighting against reality and focus on what we can do to make things better. This helps us stay calm and rational, even in difficult situations. In conclusion, Stoic logic is a powerful tool for being more rational. By focusing on what we can control, separating facts from opinions, and practicing self-discipline, we can make better decisions and live a more peaceful life. Techniques like the view from above, negative visualization, and focusing on the present moment help us stay calm and appreciate what we have. By practicing gratitude and accepting things as they are, we can avoid unnecessary stress and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or being cold and unfeeling. It is about understanding our emotions and using reason to guide our actions. By applying Stoic logic in our daily lives, we can become more rational, resilient, and fulfilled. Remember, the goal is not to be perfect, but to make progress every day. As the Stoics say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So take that step today and start living a more rational and meaningful life.